Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to the party. Tonight, I'm a Bardic Knock, should say my name first, and tonight we're going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons, specifically 3.5 edition, because learning new things is hard. So, main difference, if you don't know it, there's more numbers. That's basically it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. It's there, Bardic Knock, do the things. And I noticed there's a slightly few faces popping around your screen today. We are expecting, potentially Don't Blink to be arriving. He's flying, or he was flying, so I don't know at what point he's going to arrive and jump in, and we don't know. So that'll happen.
Depends on if they use a catapult or a trebuchet.
Yeah, it depends on what method he's
As
using.
lobsters do.
Yeah.
And then our other two players, TJ and Blake. Oh, someone has...
One of whom just arrived.
Almost as if I summoned him!
Oh,
yeah.
yay! Have to fix cameras.
His high check was just really strong. That's all we know.
It went from being everybody to just Matt split into a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, that's normal. I always get split up everywhere whenever things
It's
go
okay.
wrong on these things.
Primrose cast deafness on Flick, so he can't quite hear us at the moment, but we'll fix that later.
Yeah, whilst TJ is trying to fix that and Archer is rapidly going and fixing cameras and whatnot, I'll let our first person introduce themselves, and that would be Rebecca. Rebecca, we can see your lovely, lovely face. Could you please introduce yourself and your character?
Nope. Okay, fine, I guess.
It wasn't an option!
It is now. Rebecca, we're playing Primrose, the half-orc bard, plus one monk. Hello?
You don't need anything more than that. That's information that defines
No.
what's going on. So then we will jump to Cody. Cody, could you introduce yourself and your character, please?
Yes, hello. I may potentially, for the next couple of minutes, be Kid the Dark Horse. He is a level 2 fighter, level 5 wizard. Gotta get used to saying that.
And almost dead.
Yeah, who is incredibly handy and is very innovative.
TJ, can you hear us yet?
I'll take that as a no.
Bear says no.
Yeah, they're just casual zoned out going. I'm going to assume he cannot hear us. Well, it seems as if Archer has fixed all the screens and whatnot, so Archer...
And now it's all scripted.
As if on cue, man.
Although, if we wait a second, I'm assuming he's just going to jump right back in, so so if we wait...
Honestly, TJ's timing has been great today.
Oh, it's been fantastic. So don't worry about fixing everything right away. Because there we go. That's a person back in.
Essentially.
Uh,
In the meantime,
Sup? My name is Archer, and I'm playing Keldor the Knoll Knight, who it's a little frosty right now.
I think we're all a little frosty right now. Frosted flakes right now.
Everyone's got,
I
everyone's
might
got
be a little freezer burned right now.
a little bit. So, we'll wait in suspense to find out what's going on with TJ, and he'll let us know when he can hear us and whatnot. So, until that point, I can give a brief description of what occurred previously. So, in the last few sessions, our delightful entourage has been working their way through to find out what has gone awry in this peaceful little village, which is now full of dead people and water. They figured it out. They found a giant, scary, spooky fish, and they killed it. And that was that. You know, it turned out to be a surprisingly easy thing to kill for them. Nobody really took any damage. So then they did the logical thing, and in their downtime, they all decided, hey, let's have a great big fist fight with each other, in which their easily excitable companion, Notad Raygon, decided to... well, he got a little too into it and unleashed...
Decided to murder us all?
A
Yeah.
little bit!
Very
There we go,
minty
there's the
halitosis.
DJ.
I'm finally sick of this party.
It wasn't that, he was like really excited, he's like, oh my god, we're doing this! Bah!
This is how we used to play back in the Dragon Den. I'm so glad we finally get to play like real cats.
And pretty much kills everybody.
Yeah.
We established no magic except for anything that would give you more arms.
Oh wait, no breath weapons allowed? Do we say no breath weapons? I'm sorry, guys.
You're not allowed to breathe, Notad. That's the entire purpose of the game.
Oh, well, apologies, nobody explains this to me. I was just... We were all... kid, you go extra arms, and the little one was trying to stab somebody. I thought it was okay.
It's
He's not
meat
okay.
sprinkles. He has the right to do that. We can't
No,
control
he
him.
doesn't. He's just too insane not to know that.
Hey, we can't hold it against him. You see his fists. They're tiny and also green.
Yes, we can. People hold it against me all the time.
Yeah,
the fact
no,
of being
it's
tiny is people holding shit against you that isn't your fault.
okay.
So apparently we live in a very sizist society.
It's
I'm
all
sorry, I couldn't
humans.
hear them down there.
If there's one thing humans do good, it's bigotry.
I wish that wasn't true.
Argue with me on it.
We
I
got a
dare
lot of
you.
humans in our group. I'll give you that.
So, TJ, now we can all finally hear your glorious, glorious voice. You want to introduce yourself quickly?
Hey guys, I am TJ, and I'll be playing Flick, our delightful halfling rogue, not bard, and we're gonna see what happens today. Some shit might fall out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's
Are you
happening.
Sure
We're all almost
you're not a
dead.
bard? Are you sure?
I'm only like 12% sure I'm not a bard. I'm pretty
Okay.
positive
Take a
that
level
Flick was a
of
bard
bard,
in a
just-
previous life when he was taller.
Ah,
Just can't get no
wonderful.
respect down here.
Oh, no respect.
I tell you, no respect, no respect.
That's Matt's best American.
Yeah, it is.
That's
what you
that
all
was my
sound
best
like, right?
American too.
Isn't that what you all sound like?
Pretty much, yeah.
Here it is, Matt. Here it is.
Alrighty, so everybody who is currently here has introduced themselves. I've said the name of the channel, which is Welcome to the Party, which, by the way, is a really awesome, all-inclusive place. And if you would ever be interested in taking part in any of the any future games that could be streamed on here, you can join the Discord down below and find out more things. Also, people just like to talk, and talking is fun, and that's where it happens, in that there Discord.
People definitely like to talk.
Talking.
Lots of it. You should also follow Welcome to the Party on Twitter to find out when things are going on stream. And that is at Welcome Party RPG on Twitter. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, did you know you can watch these things live? That's over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Welcome Party RPG. And if you have, if you want to catch up on everything, and there's a bunch of other campaigns you want to watch, you can find them all on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Welcome to the Party. You should subscribe and hang on, I've got my best YouTube impression. And smash that like button!
Matt, if you're gonna be British, you got to do at least on a Minecraft video or something. I don't know.
If I want it to be a British YouTuber, I need to be like from the south, where I swear that's like all everyone understands Britain. They only understand, like, they only comprehend like this one small area, like in and around London. They just forget that the entire rest of the country exists.
See, the
Oh,
other problem
no.
is you don't have any posters of any sort in the back, and any British YouTuber has at least 6 of them.
True.
Um,
And I have to correct you, Matt. We don't forget that the other parts of Britain exist. We forget all of it exists. Trust us. It hasn't been a problem for us in 200 years.
Except for
until
Scotland.
you want to make an edgy TV show, and then half the cast is British for some stupid reason.
I
Or
don't
we
know.
want to
was
get
it
uppity and want something like independence. Oh.
Why would anybody want that?
I don't know.
My Scotland, no. How dare you?
Yeah, Scotland.
We don't
I
talk
never,
about Scotland.
I never found out exactly how often we use English actors as primary American actors down here until House became a thing.
Yeah.
That was the first show I got obsessed with as a teenager, when I thought I was as smart as him without all the medical training or the team of writers, you know?
Yeah.
Like we all did.
See, I personally find that hilarious because what I know Hugh Laurie from is he used to do a sketch show called A Bit of Fry and Laurie with Stephen Fry. And most of the sketches involve them dressing up as women.
I knew him from 101 Dalmatians.
And oh yeah, he did that as well. But then the other big thing, he was in Blackadder, where he always played the idiot. Like he played the young, handsome idiot. In Blackadder Third, he plays like Prince George. In Blackadder Goes Forth, he plays like this really posh, tough soldier boy, and he's just a moron. And
Now
he's
here's
like,
the
"Oh,
question.
jolly good, we'll go over the wall." Blah.
Oh, God. Here's the question: how many of your shows involve someone who is royalty in some way?
Not as many as you'd think.
Okay. Because I think none of them are involved here. We had one show that was on our Disney Channel for a while that actually involved our presidency in any way.
Or your
um,
house.
but
Are you
it's got
talking about
Black Corinne
best
House.
anime?
God, yes. And that's about as far as I'm aware of it.
House of Cards, West Wing.
Are those? Well, it's weird. It's weird to think about in terms of that. But I honestly I can't think of a single British show that didn't involve the royalty in some.
West Wing wasn't actually a political commentary. It was actually just a showcase of men's haircuts.
Yeah.
I thought it was just people walking. Like, just
It's Speedwalkers
Primarily
Monthly.
that.
Yeah, pretty much.
just in a very particular background.
Speaking of people who move on,
They didn't even
Okay,
pay for any of the rooms. They just had hallways.
They just did all their filming in like motels, so all they could get is hallway shots.
oh god,
Anyhow, Dungeons and Dragons. That's what we're here for.
we're just trying
No,
to
it's
delay our
not.
characters dying as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So,
Oh, sure about
immediately after all of this, well, how's everyone feeling after this breath attack? Kid, you're on -9 points, right?
That was an acting cough, not a legitimate me coughing my lungs out.
Kids on the floor, dying.
Mm.
Am I correct in remembering that I'm the only one who avoided damage?
Other
Yeah,
than,
Yes,
meat
Mr.
sprinkles,
Chair.
Yeah, really.
I cheated
So-
and gave Meat Sprinkles a free success. Because
Otherwise, he would have been at negative 40 hit points.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would have been at like -12 or 13 too. That would have straight up killed me from full health.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
And I'm not at full health.
Meat Sprinkles was at 7 health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
was
Me and
supposed to
Meat
be a
Sprinkles are in the
fun
same
little
category that we
encounter.
don't have much health to spare.
We were all
So,
sitting hitting each other for
when-
non-lethal damage.
Yeah. I don't have Roll20 up here yet. I'm just gonna jump in and see where we're all at on the field.
It's
Uh,
not actually
Oh.
set up. It's all
Okay.
Trying
just
to like,
all stuffed in the corner.
I
Okay.
need to like log into that, don't I? Mm.
Yeah, maybe at some point. I don't know. Depends.
I'm pretty
kind
sure
of
what
game it is.
happened with Flick is like he heard it coming and then just like plastered himself behind Keldor and let Keldor take the brunt of it.
As per usual, yeah.
Somebody's got to be here to get you resurrected if you die. We can't both die. Yeah, I'm good with that. That seems like a perfectly Flick explanation for how to get by it. So, Flick, in almost a cartoonish pose of being stood behind Keldor as he gets roasted like a wily coyote bomb or something, he's kind of standing there and he's like, what the fuck just happened? And he reaches in and he pulls out 2 daggers and he peeks around Keldor to see where the fuck Notad is.
Notad is kind of standing there with this like little smug look on his face, going like,
And then people start falling.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and then he kind of looks at all of you and goes, "Oh,
Ow.
Did you mean to do that?
were breath weapons not allowed?"
Considering none of the rest of us have one.
Ah!
Apologies, I may have gone too far. I just got so excited. It was fun.
Okay, so I magic away my daggers and I check Keldor for a pulse.
I'm fine.
Okay, and I start running around everybody else and like.
Kid's not fine at all. He's probably dead.
Eliza, you might have to resurrect the fighter wizard, dude.
That's your feet. That's your
Yeah.
feet. Rebecca,
Eliza, meanwhile, has run over and she immediately grabs hold of Kid and is going to use her highest level healing spell. So, there's another DA. Come on.
I have this image in my head of freaking whenever Eliza heals someone, she's like, live!
Just shaking him, live.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. She runs over. Kid, how do you imagine you are positioned? Like just on the floor, or like are you frozen in place? Are you dying on your feet?
He has 4 arms currently, so.
Yeah, I would imagine that I probably did kind of see it coming, and I'm holding all 4 arms in front of myself, trying to shield it, and I got kind of stuck that way.
And it just fell backwards. Like, stiff as a board.
Oh, nice. So Eliza rushes up. She puts her hands like onto your chest and starts trying to like CPR, going,
Live it, you
Get
idiot,
up!
live!
"Don't die here. That's not okay." And you recover 10, 20. Do math, 23 hit
Oh!
points.
Wow. But before he does, as Eliza runs up and hugs him and starts healing him, I run up, and because he's lying on the ground, instead of going up to his head and holding his head in my lap like a normal person would, I run up to one of his feet and I hug one of his legs, and I'm rocking back and forth. Come on, kid, you gotta pull through. Who am I gonna make fun of if you don't pull through? Come on, you gotta do it, buddy. You're a part of the team now.
Ugh.
Quick interruption. We have a raid for G for Gaming. Thank you so much.
Yay! Thanks for the raid, guys.
Welcome to the party, y'all.
Damn, that was a much better segue than mine. It's so obvious.
That's why we're welcome party. We're welcome to the party.
Hey, we're actually on the first page of Twitch right now, too.
Wait, what?
Oh, nice.
We're on the
What?
front page of Twitch.
All right then.
Maybe it's just because it's my suggested things. I don't know. I went to Twitch.
I doubt
We're
we're
right
on the
front.
front page, but
They rotate.
yeah.
No, TwitchCon's going on. All the big guys are off there, so.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Welcome to the party. We're all dying today.
Yeah, for anybody who just showed up, the local not dragon NPC escorting our party just pretty much killed everyone, and now we're trying to unkill everyone.
Yeah.
That about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
pretty much
right.
it.
And he's
So,
definitely not a dragon. Definitely.
Where would you get the impression that Notad Rhaegon is a dragon? That's ludicrous. Just because he grew wings and he punched you as hard as the half-orc, despite being a winty little sorcerer, and he can breathe giant ice breath attacks. What makes you think he's a dragon? That's
Nothing at
don't
all.
know, man.
Nothing.
I don't know.
It's just a suspicion of mine.
Yeah.
So, Kid, how are you feeling now you've had restoring life energy poured back into you?
Kid kind of comes up. He kind of flexes a little bit to try and get some of the ice to come off. And his eyes immediately look around, getting his bearings. And then they settle on...
Still hugging your leg.
Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of feeling down there at the moment. Although that never stopped him from standing up before. So he's currently up. He's a little stumbling at the moment. And he's gonna look over right at Notad and said, "So exactly what was that?"
A spell?
Sure.
it's
wait,
not.
wait. Let's see.
Because it looked a lot like attempted murder.
No, I'll tell you what it was. That was not a spell. At least not the one you've used before.
What? Who cares what kind of
Well,
magic it was? He tried to kill us all.
No, here's what it was. We've seen him use this before.
He's totally a dragon. Like, you don't have to hide it anymore. Kind of obvious.
Especially
I
since
thought we
this
figured that
time-
out in Dundee.
No, there's no
What?
somatic component. We didn't meet him until...
Finesse.
It's a figure of speech, guys. Come on, we've all known for a while. Have we not known?
Well,
And
I
Notad's,
haven't noticed anything.
Oh,
Notad is
no
standing
idea.
there, looking somewhat sheepish, kind of rubbing the back of his neck and going, okay. Well,
You're a dragon.
maybe he has been keeping an itty-bitty secret.
Yes, totally itty.
He's very little. He's small. It's not a big deal at all. So, I do not know how acquainted you may be with the magics and whatnot, and
got pretty
especially
close to him just now.
no, very clever little fellow. Well, there is what many people believe, and it is arguably quite. It's academically studied and is accepted to be the truth that dragons are the originators of a lot of the arcane magics, and many people, like our good friend Varko, who can just naturally throw the magics out from their fingertips, like going pew 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 pew. They believe that they are descended from the dragons, and one thing you can do if you have the ancient dragon blood in your systems is you can train yourself to activate it, to use more of it. And that is what I can do. I activate my dragon ancestry, so one might even say I am a disciple of a dragon as such.
So,
And you're
what
totally not a full-blood dragon. Totally.
Definitely not.
So what you're trying to say is that if I just get one drop of dragon blood and put it in my blood, I have dragon powers like Bako does?
No. You have to be born with the dragon blood.
Oh.
I mean, you might
That's
have
not
it.
fair.
Dragons have literally put their penises in everything.
Nope.
The vast majority of people have some amount of dragon blood inside of them. You know, somewhere in your family lines there will be a dragon. And it is just a matter of being able to activate it. If you were to go and study, and if you spend plenty of time with Vako, and you learn how to meditate and activate, and basically just find a way to tap into the blood inside of you to pull power out of the arcane weave of the universe, you could experience.
But
Master.
Oui.
that gives you dragon wings. I don't.
When you get really good at it.
Master,
Uh,
I would like to do something really quickly.
What would you like to do?
Well, you said your piece. I would like to say mine, if that is okay with you.
Please.
Ooh.
A bit better than mine.
I'm just standing there with a look on my face, like,
uh-huh.
Okay, Keldor. with
I
your
totally
nat one-
believe he's not a dragon at this point.
Yeah.
yeah.
Flick, you're going. This seems a little too convenient, but I
I
still
didn't believe
can't
this
prove-
story 2 months ago. I don't believe it now.
Well, that is up to you. I cannot change your mind. I mean, I probably could with magic, but that is morally
I
bad.
wouldn't try that.
Keldor is straight up lying to you.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. It's quite. Trust me, I talk to a lot of people who lie a lot. He's lying.
I know how to
I'm
find
not
out.
always the best at telling when people.
Whether he's.
Sorry, Matt. I should have asked you before I rolled that sense motive.
No, please,
Okay.
please. No,
I just
go.
didn't want to interrupt the dialogue, and it seemed like a part where you just say that. Yeah, of course. Please roll one. So,
I don't know what his motivations are. I don't know. He's gone with us this long without killing us up until now, but it's quite obvious that we're all at his whim. Like, does anybody really think that we could, I don't know, stop that? He just has to do it one more time, or we're all pretty much dead, right? I don't know if I can dodge a second one.
Eliza?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Eliza looks at you, kid, and kind of goes, yes?
Please be prepared in case I'm wrong. Master, I'd like to ask you one question.
Please go ahead, my student. I'm all ears.
Kid speaks in Draconic. He says, "Do you feel pain?"
He replies back.
Kid casts power word pain with the word pain.
before hearing his response.
So, Notad looks entirely unflinching at this. And when you ask, do you feel pain? He kind of stops and thinks. He goes, well, I guess we all feel pain in some way, shape, or form. He hears you say the word, kind of pauses, and then goes, I mean,
What just happened? What's going on? I'm so confused.
Don't worry, so am I.
Kid's going to shake off what ice he can, and without a word, he's just going to start walking back towards the campsite.
So, for those who don't know, power word pain only works on creatures with 100 hit points or less.
It's also subject to spell resistance.
Yeah.
So that was the tester outer, was it? Okay, if he's subjective to this, we can take him. If not, it's time for a nap.
So, kid, you're going over to the fire. I'm assuming to
Gonna warm up a little bit.
melt off all the remaining ice. Everyone else, what are you doing? As Notan's kind of stood there going, look, I apologize. It just seemed like so much fun. I didn't mean to get carried away.
Yeah. So, it's all good. And I start just getting all geared up and ready to go. Start packing up everything too.
Flick, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of looking around at everybody as we just kind of like give up on this. And it's the confrontation he's been sort of waiting for everybody to eventually get to. And he's just like, hey.
All right, well, if you decide to kill us, make it quick.
And I just turn around and walk after Kid.
And Primrose, how are you feeling after all of this? What are you doing?
I'm actually not really sure.
Right?
Uh, I mean, Prim isn't really prized after the whole, fish death. Prim doesn't really care, but maybe he just hasn't sunk in yet. I don't know, but they don't really care right now.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Alrighty, so, some time will pass. Eliza will spread out her healing as best she can. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be able to get. I don't think everyone's going to be able to get fully healed up because she only has so much. But she'll do her best. You can definitely all get fully healed up if you have one more day of rest. Well, yeah, Keldor, you can sort yourself out with your fast healing, can't you?
Yep.
So there's that. Kid, you seem the most shook by everything. What are you thinking? What are you feeling as you're sat in front of a fire, or stood in front of a fire, whatever you choose?
Well, if there's one thing that Kid hates, it's being lied to. And so he's currently looking kind of at himself, looking at what he's learned. He's letting his tongue kind of touch the thing that is in his mouth, affecting his voice, and he's kind of scared to remove it at this point. He doesn't know what he wants yet, but all he knows is that Notad's been giving him all this advice to step up, to be better than he was, become better at letting his own ideas go through, but now Kid doesn't know what was a lie and what wasn't. So, teenage angst.
Yeah, you're figuring things out. Maybe this person you thought was good and helpful, and maybe he's not as good as you first thought. That's deep.
Maybe people taste better when they have more power.
That's so freaking morbid. That's really messed up, and I kind of like it. The idea of like whatever it is, like a dragon or a demon purposely trying to make people stronger, so then when it kills them, it feels better.
Right? That's a great idea for a demon or some kind of shape changer. I'm gonna write that one down in my book, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That's.
Oh dear!
Really...
Now we can never trust any NPC.
Could we ever trust any NPC, really?
At least a little bit.
Well, here's how I think of it.
Suggesting that meat sprinkles is not the most trustworthy thing that ever existed?
Oh, yeah,
totally. Any idea how many ways I've gone through killing meat sprinkles in my head? I have several different plots written down in my notes for Flick already that haven't been enacted yet.
The basis of Kid's training with meat sprinkles on how to avoid these sorts of things.
Yeah, we'll see how good it was.
Okay, so...
Are you saying Eliza is secretly an assassin sent to kill us all?
The beginning, the hammer didn't like her.
Swear to God.
She is only a 4th level cleric, but she's actually a 27th level fighter as well. 27th level monk. There you go. The best assassin. She doesn't need to have weapons. She can just be disguised as whatever else.
Battle.
Yeah. She never takes any damage.
She just runs in and waits till everything's done, then heals us.
Yeah.
Wonderful in bed. There's certain things for that, it's crazy.
Little do we know. Little do we know the backup crew actually got attacked when they were out of sight in the caves behind us in the last dungeon, and she just aced like 12 guys in a turn.
Come on, that's ludicrous. She's blatantly a succubus. She's slowly weaning her way through all of you. Primrose is going to wake up dead one day, and it's going to be like, oh, what the hell? And then Eliza's going to pick her next victim.
And Kid being an asexual is the only one who's completely immune.
I love it.
I'll
So-
get my next carriage sheet ready then. Good lord.
Keldor, after like just working around, packing up the camp, is gonna be like, Angus, where do we go next?
With
'Cause-
that, Angus has probably been helping you out, pack stuff up, and with that, he goes, "Hey, that's probably a really good question." He like gets his hammer and bangs his shield a couple of times, you know, to try and get everyone's attention. He goes, "Everybody, obviously, we've got a fair few directions we can be heading off in. I guess it's really up to a group consensus. So it were. Supposedly, we need to go get a dragon to bless my hammer.
I mean,
That's,
Do we really?
do we have to go
Seems like
find
that-
one?
Seems like that's a
uh,
little redundant at this point.
does everyone turn and look at Notad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Notad kind of shrugs and goes, "But I'm not a dragon. I'm a disciple of a dragon. I am like a dragon, but not like a real one. Not
Would
certainly
it work though? Does the hammer know the
You-
difference? Could you do it
You may-
anyways?
Is it close enough?
You're lucky there's no power word bullshit.
not."
Hey, Scales. You may be really good at looking like different things, but you're terrible at sounding like them.
So with that, Notad walks over to the hammer and goes, "Do not know how to bless the things, I guess." He kind of like just looks at it and like points at it and does a little symbol of a triad, which is like a cross inside of a triangle. And he goes, "Be good." Did it
Sacred
work?
geometry for the win.
Is that the thing?
I pick up
I
the
don't know.
hammer.
Yeah.
And I slam it into a tree.
It appears to be just as effective as it has been previously for you. It doesn't seem to be any stronger or
I
anything.
specifically try and make the tree fall towards no tag.
As you do so, he like jumps out of the way, and the tree slams down and lands on his foot. And he goes, "Ah, that was not very nice. Did my best. Can someone please get this tree off my foot?"
Oh, sure. Let me help you with that.
I pick up the tree off his foot.
I don't move. Yeah, I just stand there staring at him.
Yeah.
Look, I said I am sorry. I got carried away. It was not acceptable. In the future, I will not actively engage in.
Or next time,
Little-
just freeze us all to death.
I thought it would be fun. I thought you would enjoy
Freezing
it.
us to death would be fun.
Not in death.
I'm not suicidal. That guy is, pointing at kid, but I'm not.
Meet Sprinkles, tugs on kids, on your trousers. And goes, "What's suicidal?"
Okay, listen. I didn't learn a lot in school because I never went to school. But I learned that there are warm-blooded creatures and there are cold-blooded creatures. And the ones that have scales are the cold-blooded ones. So you might want to keep in mind that us warm-blooded ones need the warm part of the blood to stay alive. It's very, very helpful for the not dying.
Honestly, I thought a lot of you would do better at dodging. You're also capable and all of that. I thought it would be a good ha ha ha. Now I thought it was going to be. I don't know.
You're on
I
latrine
also highly
duty for
get
the
to go
rest of
and-
the week.
Okay.
Let's go. Where are we going? We haven't decided yet.
Hey. So.
Where would
Basically,
we even
from what I-
find another dragon?
Well,
Mountains, maybe?
Rumor always had it that up near the peak of Drexspire, there's they've got some crazy people out there who worship some kind of dragon god. I don't really understand it. So logically, I'd assume there's probably one up there, or at least someone who could point us in the direction of one.
Isn't that where you wanted to go, Master?
Actually, yes. That is where I was heading before I met up with you lovely people and took you under my wing. No, wing is correct. Yes, wing.
We're
I am
heading to
actually from.
Draxfire. Unless anybody has any objection.
So,
Be back.
I haven't been around a lot of animals either, but the dogs that live in the city, some of them are in packs, right? And they're friendly with each other, but they're really not friendly with any other dogs in the city. How are dragons?
Are you asking this to Notad directly,
Yes.
or is this
Oh yeah,
like
I'm staring him in the face. This isn't a question for anybody else.
he kind of pauses and goes, well, usually dragons do not spend too much time around one another. They're very solitary. Sometimes it is a mated pair, they're happy together. There is, however, a fundamental divide in the vast majority of the dragons. There are the metallic and the chromatic. Metallic is usually good, and chromatic is usually not so nice, a little bit evil. So I guess it depends. Originally, I came from Draxfire myself. I am a dragon disciple. Is where I trained and all of these good things. And the vast majority, at least the mainstream cult, we were fairly determined that it must be a silver dragon up there. That is why many of us can access the line. But obviously, some offshoots are much. They think it is a white dragon, an evil creature. But I've always dismissed such a thing, because surely the white dragon would have attacked and killed us all by now.
Question.
Yeah.
Out of character, is Draxfire, is that anywhere near where Prim is from? I have no idea. I wrote
Same place.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if who asked if that was okay going there?
Keldor.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Keldor says that Prim just looks kind of like, and like, rubs the back of their neck and just like, looks like they want to say something but doesn't say anything about it.
If you know anything about this place, now's the time to speak up because I'm the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. That's something else that warm-blooded creatures do.
It's cold. It's very cold.
I mean, it's getting cold
Like-
here.
Yeah, colder than the other mountain we climbed?
I don't know anything about
That's a
cold
legitimate
as a
question. That wasn't sarcastic. Sorry?
Is it colder than the other mountain, Matt? I don't remember.
Yeah.
All mountains are cold. This one is. Yeah.
I have no idea what.
All mountains are cold, and then you cut out, buddy.
Yeah. Is it? Am I back now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all mountains are cold. However, this one is in the north, and it's colder, harsher, probably a lot more dangerous than the one you went to. You went to a nice. The mountain you went to has been converted into a mine shaft. Is pretty. It was pretty tame. Just people never climbed up it because why would you do that?
Yeah.
Draxfire is in the northern mountain range, where many raiders and tribal societies live in the mountainous wastelands. It's a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah, Prim would basically say it's more cold.
Hmm.
Leave it at that.
In that case, we should
Well,
probably have Gen3 and Zindrix work on making some Endure Elements potions.
We also have a lot of heavy coats that we got. Because it is
And I
getting
got-
into winter.
Yeah, and that saber-tooth cloak I got is a big help to that, right? Like being like a gray cloak
yeah,
kind of
yes,
style.
it is.
Okay.
All right, well, I don't know, we'll stop in the next town that isn't under 12 feet of water and stock up as much as we can. Probably the places closer to the mountains will have better winter gear, right? Like the closer we get, the better they're going to be at keeping themselves warm if they're living there, logically.
Logically.
Well, also, like, Keldor's hometown gets very cold. So, the stuff we got from them...
Would probably be pretty
pretty
intense already.
decent. Yeah.
Okay, so
No, after you. You were still talking
Alright.
character. I was going to start
We
throwing.
can-
Up here.
we can take the stuff we have now because it's pretty good. It got us up the last mountain, and if it starts to not be good enough, we can just stop at the next place. Like, how many towns are there? Is there any places to stop?
Well, we're
We might be
right
able to stop by
here
and
on the
loot Dundee.
map. Dundee's gone.
You can go check out Dundee if you wanted to. It's
I'd rather
almost
stay
en route.
away from that place until we're able to defeat whatever destroyed it, because who knows if it...
Right. So
Yeah.
sorry, we're over at Loch Rannoch, right?
Yep.
Yes,
we're over-
on the little map I've thrown up. And so you're
So
here.
there's and there's no other little villages or anything in the countryside between here and Mount Draxfire, or
None of serious note. In a similar way to like Finesse was, there might be like small traveler, like small farming communities where there's places to stop and whatnot, but for the
Airbnb style.
most part, it's quite empty.
Okay.
I mean, logically, if you're like going as the crow flies, a straight line, and you pass through the forest, logically would assume like, okay, if there's a forest, there's going to be some kind of society somewhere, either inside of it or outside of it. To
edges.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. And at that point, Angus then also chimes in and goes, so obviously that's one option. The other, which I'll admit is a very personal thing, and so I'd understand if we want to put it on the back burner, at least for now. I'd like to try and find where my wife is.
Well, that's the thing I'm wondering is, how do we? Because it's in the mountains. We're surrounded by
Yeah.
mountains.
Well, there was some ruins, and the only ones I'm aware of, at least historically, would be the ruins of Cowdenbeath. Cowdenbeath was never great at history, but there was that place. So there's over there as well.
It's along the way.
In
Indirectly, but
like
we want to stay
indirectly,
away.
we could go like in a wee zigzag, as such.
I'd like to stay as far away from Dundee until we're ready as possible.
There is also a third option. It takes us quite a way out of our main path, but if we're ever wanting to have a break from all of this wilderness, there is the second city. We can go by to Dunkirk, because
Oh, that's
That's
clear on the other
across the
side of the
way.
country.
as I said, it's definitely a wee bit out of our way, but it's if we want an actual proper long downtime rest before we're continuing adventuring. actually get some time around civilization. I mean, I'm happy to keep on questing out in the wilderness. I just don't know if anybody else would actually like some time to, take their boots off and wear some clean clothes.
Well,
If we want to, if we get up to the north and go to Tay, figure out how to make a thing, we can take the river straight down.
that's a possibility. The one issue I have is, again, there's some powerful thing kind of destroying cities. We don't know if Dunkirk is even still there.
Might be a good idea to go check.
Well, it's
It's-
probably a very good idea to go and check, because, if it is still standing, there
it
is an
your
army
city?
there. I don't know it. Don't know how versed you all are in the political climate of the world, but my wife. She was actually essentially the princess. I'm terrible at actual titles. She had one of them, like Fife. I don't know. It was one of them kind of titles, countess or baroness or something. But
You hit your head harder when you fell off that battlement than we thought, didn't you?
I probably did. I don't really remember anything before I turned 20.
Isn't this your city too?
See, it's a very complicated political system we've got. Well, I say political, it's really more like, what's the word I'm looking for? A feudal system, that's the one. Where there might be one person in a great position of power, like a king or an emperor or whatever. But then that one person cannot be in charge of everything all the time. So they put other people in charge of other small places, and those people, they have power and they can amass their own wealth. And so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved Iona. She was beautiful. But it wasn't exactly like out of choice that we courted each other. Her dad, the Earl or Duke or whatever his bloody title was, he's actually got most money in the kingdom. And so Dunkirk is actually a very immensely well-defended area. They've got a fantastic army. I mean, the place is surrounded by rivers. No one has ever properly invaded there. Like, it's never fallen. And
Well, they haven't met us yet.
this is true. The other thing I wanted to bring up, their elite squadron, actually run by my brother-in-law, Ronald. I don't know how, if you've ever heard of them, the Knights of Dunkirk. They fly around on giant eagles. I figure that might be a wee helpful in getting around.
We need to go to Dunkirk.
And I also think Ronald might want to find out what's happened to his sister.
So the choices are we could go check out the ruins.
Or Eagles.
Hmm.
On Eagles, we could
It's a
potentially go
hard
get to the
choice.
ruins a lot quicker.
At any mention of riding another animal, Kildor gets super, super nervous. And it's pretty obvious.
Do horses not like you, Keldor?
Let's just say no animal.
Yeah, no kidding.
I look at Notad.
Maybe Notad can teach you how to change your shape.
I mean, we could
No,
already fly.
I'm
in.
happy with my shape.
But if animals aren't, then it could become potentially hazardous.
Or I can just, not get on that animal.
It's that lapping thing you do, Keldor. It's not natural. It's designed to fuck people up. You shouldn't be surprised when it does exactly that all the time.
Eldor immediately starts laughing.
Yeah.
Kind of nervously, but he's laughing.
I'm assuming eagles would make it easier to get on top of Druck's.
Not if there's a dragon and
that's
he's
fine.
not going to want visitors. What will happen is the eagles will
that.
die and will fall thousands of feet to our death.
This has not been a problem in the past.
'Cause you
Both
haven't
Primrose and I
ridden
can both.
an eagle.
Well, both Primrose and I have the ability to stop the descent of people. That's how we got down the mountain the first time.
Mhm.
Heights mean nothing to us anymore. The fear of death has definitely gone away as we've increased in our levels.
Levels.
I
I
mean-
say, looking at Eliza.
Eliza nods at you and goes, "Oh, it usually does. When you ascend the hierarchy, you don't need to worry so much about things anymore. It's actually very, very reassuring."
Yeah, the
Primrose
only
is
Looked
kinda
at the
problem.
like-
aboleth and said it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Primrose says I'm too old to be scared of death at this point.
Well, that's good for you, but the rest of us who don't add up to your age put together kind of want to make it a little bit further. I love you.
I go over and I hug her leg.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Just pat your head.
Okay, well, at the very least, we know we're heading north to start with. So I say we start heading out north, and we can decide whether to continue onto the ruins or figure out if we can get some way down.
And I run up and I jump on the front of one of the wagons and I grab the reins that aren't attached to the horses yet and I go, "Giddy up!"
And I'm like, the horses are over there.
Yeah, faster! Hi ho,
Alright, so where are we
silver
going?
away!
We're going to Dunkirk.
Kid's
Is that where
going
we're
to go get in the
Lost-
back of a wagon,
lost
not
count.
talk to anybody.
Oh.
And I'm gonna be like, can someone hook up the animals? They still don't like me. And then I'm
Take
just
out
gonna
the
start
troll gut
walking.
rope. I take out the troll gut rope and I start whipping the invisible horses.
Oh my god. So wait, where are we going actually? I've lost
North.
like.
Well, it's undecided exactly where you're going as of yet, but
Okay.
head north and then you'll decide. Okay, so if people would like to load up wagons and how they would like to pair everything up.
You know what? If
Unst is
is
driving
there
one
time
of the...
for
Go
is
for
there
it.
time for character interaction while we're like riding along?
Oh yeah, this is perfect
What
time.
else do we do on long
Yeah.
road trips?
That's true.
We share our feelings.
Well, because I just realized like Prim and Kid haven't had a real interaction except like punching each other in the face.
I mean, that's a real interaction that is very useful to have.
It
Not
is.
now.
Let's see.
Which wagon is Kid in?
Wow.
I'll say the first one.
Sprinkle.
Just saying.
The
Prim has
almost
noticed the
dead
whole-
meat sprinkles. The should be dead meat sprinkle.
Just saying, Prim has noticed the emo-ness of Kid today.
So, do you want to be in Kid's wagon?
Yep.
Let's put you there.
Can we see into the wagon from the driver's seats?
Yeah, there's like a little hatch to pass things through.
And I forget, are they
Almost
wood-walled wagons
rolling
or are they
down.
like are they like wood-walled wagons or are they like canvas?
Canvas.
Okay.
No, they're wood wall because we've been
No,
on
no,
top
I
of
said
them.
yeah, they are wood because Keldor sleeps on top of them, doesn't he?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But
Double
there is
checking.
like a little, like you can take a panel out and pass things through, and a small person could
Yeah.
probably crawl backwards and forwards between them.
Okay. So just to start things off, after we get going for a minute or two, I'm gonna open the hatch and I'm gonna whisper. I'm not even gonna whisper. I'm gonna put my arm up to the hatch and I'm gonna have Spugnik crawl in and I'm gonna tell him telepathically to go keep Kid company. And he slinks in, and unless Kid stops him, he like wraps himself around Kid's neck like a big necklace, like he does on Flick all the time.
Kid looks back and forth between Spudnik and his drawing so he can get the details right for Notad.
Nice.
Makes his painting check, drawing Kid walking away from Notad, rig on. with Dragon Knight, saying,
Oh.
"Master, how can I trust you?"
Expressing himself through art.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. Okay, so
Oh,
what I've
Keldor's
done.
100% not in a wagon.
Yeah,
He's
not
faster
you're-
than the horses.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So, your basic thing is you're going north, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, is there any other last-minute things you would like to take care of before you start going?
As soon as everybody else is not really paying attention, like when everybody's sort of loaded in and doing their thing, I elbow Unst
Mm-hmm.
and I go to take the reins from him.
Uns kind of looks at you. Like, he does that sneaky thing, like a dad with a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you sit on my knee. You can. Let's just make sure no one else is looking. It's like,
Yeah.
you little man, you want to make horses go? Yeah. Get it.
And he
Animal
gives
check.
him way too big of a crack.
Animal
Right off the
handling,
bat.
please, Flick.
As soon as he gets him in his hands, he just looks at him, big grin on his face, and crack. And
Oh, I'm gonna be whiplash, aren't we?
handle animal.
Oh no.
Not possible.
Oh.
That's a
Oh,
crit.
Yeah,
That's a-
20!
Yes!
So with that, Flick, what you do is one you've gotten your yeah, and the horses both rear up, go and start pelting full speed, like but controlled, not like they're going wild. They know like that's it, and the wagon is going faster than it has ever gone, and it's like turning like. When it does a sharp turn, like the wagon goes over onto like two wheels, and it kind of the camera goes slow motion as it looks as if the thing's gonna topple, but it doesn't, and you kind of suspend on two wheels as it then lands, and you keep going. You're like, yeah.
Some of the
Keldor
ink
just
spills and causes it to come from his eyes. Kid is okay with this development.
In fact, you have sped ahead of the other wagon, like by a good 200 feet or so. So they will not be able to interact with you until you reach a stopping point.
I just realized.
I will
just
slow
realized-
it back down after a little bit. Sorry, go ahead, Prim.
No, sorry, I just realized that we're in that fucking cart. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid, Meat Sprinkles, Primrose, and Eliza, you guys are being thrown around inside.
I'm a depressed teenager. This is only the second worst thing that's happened to me today.
So, in the background, you see Keldor just shake his head and then completely erase any sign that anyone has been there at all. That is something I can do.
Okay.
And there's no evidence of passing wagons.
Gotcha. I was going to say the evidence of the battle might be a little hard to dispose of.
Well,
But
the
the,
campsite's gone, and
Yeah.
Clearly
the
burned all of
tracks coming from
Yeah.
the campsite are
Gotcha.
gone. Because
Cool.
I have trackless step, which means as we travel, there is no tracking us.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you did with all the corpses of things. Like, did you burn them? Did you just throw them all back into the?
I'm assuming we burned them.
We
Yeah.
cut off all their toes first and put them in a bag for meat sprinkles for
Yeah.
the road, but
Uh,
Out of
You might have.
curiosity-
I threw them in as quickly as I could to prevent as many toes being taken as I could.
they're
Out
so full
of-
of protein, Keldor. It's like peanuts except crunchier.
I feel like I started helping Keldor after a bit.
Just
Yeah, let's put a
tossing
stop to
them in.
this. Come on.
And did you guys do anything regarding the giant bowl of water?
Oh, that's one thing. Thank you for reminding me. As the wagons were far enough away, I just walk up to it and slam a hole in the wall and then take off.
I mean,
You're not saying that we
Kid
said that
had
we
already
wouldn't
put a piton in the wall near the
Yeah, I was
entryway.
about to say.
Oh, I don't know
So
about
you've
that.
got-
I just slam a hole into another part of the wall.
The Pitten, by the way, has a drawing that basically says "hit this for a good time."
Okay, so as you start riding away, you notice that this wall has now it's springing a rather large leak, like a Keldor fist / glaive sized leak. It's just gone. So yeah, I mean, thankfully, since you are controlling it, kind of like you're forcing it through this one area, you aren't going to like flood the surrounding area. You're gonna ruin that one patch. You know, it's like if you leave a hose on, like in the back
What
garden.
I assume is gonna happen is there's gonna be like another river popping up from that part of the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. That will.
Probably a-
It's not gonna have like any huge world-shaping consequence, but okay. So now instead of there being a drowned village, there's now just an abandoned village where a bunch of gnomes used to live. But that'll sort itself out in like an hour or so. As you guys ride on off.
And that perfect time for a break.
I was just about to say that is a perfect time to take a quick
Yep.
break, everybody. So we will be back in about 5 minutes. That should be enough time for everybody to quickly nip off and get drinks or go for a smoke or go to the bathroom and everything. And we'll see you real soon, everybody.
Oy. The character development. Oh man. Well, that was fun and interesting. Wait, are you talking, TJ? Because I can't hear you. Yes, I can. Yes, you did a very nice job of making it heavy, but not too heavy. So, ugh. I I'm rather annoyed because I just put like a ton of points into sense motive and then I crit failed. Yeah. Yeah. So far today, yes. I've rolled a 13, a 1, and a nope, just a 13 and a 1. No, it's gone the other way. This is true. Oh man. Ah.
Alrighty. Hello and welcome back to the party, everybody. I am Bardic Knock. I am your dungeon master for this evening as we continue in our Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 adventure. Before we jump back in, do you like Welcome to the Party? Do you like watching rather silly people put on even sillier voices and do somehow even sillier things? Do you wish you could somehow contribute to these silly shenanigans that are occurring on your screens? Well, you can. If you donate 500 bits, or a measly 5 American dollars, maybe Canadian, I don't know. TJ, I don't know if I'll take your money.
It's probably like $12 Canadian.
Jeez. Ugh. But yes, if you donate that much, you can affect the game in a small way, such as a free crit to a player of your choice, or an instant short rest. No, that's a big change. Various things. Pop it in the chat. I'll look at it. I'll go, yeah, that's cool. You can pay 500 for that. And a small thing can occur. If you want a large thing to occur, that's 1,000 bits. So that's, as I said, instant small rest. Short rests don't exist in 3.5, but you know, recovering spell slots, maximum damage. They befriend a dragon. I don't know, whatever shit you can think of, really. And I'll go, yeah, that's cool. Also, if you subscribe to Welcome to the Party here on Twitch, well, every month you subscribe, you get to give out a free natural 20 to any player or dungeon master of your choice. So, subscribe. If you do, we've got 3 tiers of subscription, all of which give you access to awesome different emotes. Tier 1 gets you access to a WTTP D20. Tier 2 gets you access to the Michael the Mimic. And Tier 3 gets you access to crits on the rocks. So, if you can, please consider doing that. And that's all the good things. Also, if you wanted to, please consider joining the Welcome Discord. Is down below. So, with all of that, tea in place. Everybody.
So British, Matt.
I'm not even that British. I don't really drink. I maybe have tea like twice a day, if that.
That's all.
Mainly because it's warm.
It's the
Matt,
most
what's your
British
opinion
thing
on,
I've ever heard anybody say.
Really?
Matt,
Just
I
try
only have
today.
tea like twice a day.
Matt, here's a question. What's your opinion on sweet tea?
Or iced tea is
amazing.
more accurate.
Sweet
Not
iced tea?
down here, Nate.
All my problems I have with Americans and tea, like I can sum all of it up in one simple thing. Why do you leave the tea bag in?
We don't.
Wrong.
We don't.
Because it gets stronger.
I take it back. That is now the second most British thing I've ever heard somebody say.
What was the first? Pop, pop, cheerio.
No, you just outdid yourself with the "Why do you leave the tea bags in?"
I'm sorry. It is my. It's not just my pet peeve. I swear it's all of Britain's pet peeve. We see it on television all the time. It's like Americans just dip in tea bags. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you're not supposed. Like, you put the tea bag in, you let it stoop for up to a minute, maybe like more if you like it really strong. Then you take it out and throw it away.
Our tea doesn't do
You
it.
know,
Just
Matt,
like
whenever I
5
worked
minutes
at
for ours to.
Matt, whenever you worked at McDonald's, let me tell you what they did. They had this machine that was our tea maker. It was a big machine that let the water come in from the top. You took the tea bag and you put it in a little holder. You slid it. You pressed the button with the big tub of, the big enormous thing underneath it, and then you poured in an entire bag of sugar and waited until all the water came out and stirred it up. I also posted an image that I believe is probably American thinking.
It is really hilarious how petty we get over how tea is made, but
However,
like I think the easiest I'd have to go and find it. But there's a stand-up comedian. I don't remember his name for the life of me. Like, because the only thing he's really famous for is this one sketch called "The Angry Tea Rat." Because basically, like, he's like this black guy from down in London. He's complaining like, you know, he's not gangster enough, he's not cool enough, and like he can't rap because there's nothing that gets him angry enough. And then he started talking about, but the only thing that does get me angry, you know, is when someone doesn't make a cup of tea properly. And he does this whole. I'll throw the link in the Discord for you guys later because it makes me chuckle every time.
Speaking of getting angry over tea, Kildor, you're making the Twitch chat angry.
Yeah.
Don't insult our one viewer.
Hey.
The best
Kevin
part is
likes
I
Kevin's
know her in
always
real
there.
life.
Glorious.
Uh,
So we know it's not Kevin. At least it might not be Kevin. It might be one of Kevin and his.
No, it's 100% not Kevin.
Okay.
Very, very different person than Kevin.
All right,
maybe
I'll
old
take-
Kev brought a friend this time.
Kevin is everyone. We
Yeah.
are all Kevin, and Kevin is
Everyone's
all
got a
of
little
us.
bit of Kevin in them. Except
Matt?
Greg.
You need to go to a psychologist.
That's beside the point.
The voices in my head tell me I don't.
We are the voices in your head.
Alrighty.
Matt.
So we're headed north.
Yes, and Flick, with your amazing handling of the horses, you got a little bit carried away, and you have zoomed ahead of the other wagon.
Yeah.
So,
Just like grandma.
let's hope you don't need their help for anything.
When I realize that we're like 200 or so feet ahead, I do slow them back down to a closer to their walking pace so they can start to catch up.
Oh yeah. They will, like, unless you actively stop though. Like, they're not
Yeah.
gonna rush to get ahead because like,
No.
well, you know, we'll be fine.
So there's still a bit of distance, and there's going to be for a little while.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, you guys are moseying on now. And what else is there to do during traveling scenes except character development? That's now the theme song for it. Fight me.
Oh, I like that mono theme. That's great.
So, in the back of this wagon, there is Meat Sprinkles, Kid, Primrose, and Eliza.
Who are all a little bit shaken.
Yeah, you're all a little bit shook up. How are you all
Not
feeling about
stoned.
that, by the way?
Kids
Wait,
drawing
what?
his emotions.
About being like shaken around in the wagon.
Oh.
Just hearing Kid laughing or Flick laughing maniacally in the front for a change instead of Keldor.
You were the good grandchild. How dare you?
I don't know where you got the idea that Flick was the good grandchild.
She doesn't
Probably
see
because-
what I do. That's how. I hide it the best. That's always the good child's story.
This is true. Speaking as the good child.
Yeah. First-hand
See,
experience.
he hugs the grandparent most. This is why he's the good grandchild.
All you have to do is hide in the shadow of all the shit that the bad child does, and none of your shit will ever be noticed.
Yeah.
This is weirdly accurate.
Applicable?
It's not weirdly accurate at all. It just straight up is accurate.
The thing I always like, it was weird. I don't know how I did it, but for some reason, I was just my grandmother's favorite. I don't know what I did. It just was. And I find it hilarious because I know I didn't deserve it. I was really hit. Maybe she just never noticed when I was doing dodgy things or breaking. Like no, I was just the favorite out of like 7 grandchildren. Don't know why.
So you're the opposite of the redheaded stepchild stereotype?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So,
The cosmic karma for all the other ones that are out there. He accepts
Probably.
it.
They're taking all of their luck.
Yeah.
I took all of it. So, inside of the wagon, you've all been shaking around and you felt yourself speeding off ahead. How are you feeling? What are you doing? Who would you like to talk to? There's the four of you in there.
Kids remaining
Anyone have
intentionally
anything to
silent.
say,
She
or-
grows fervently.
You're still drawing? You continuing your work of art depicting Notad as a dragon, saying, "How can I trust you?"
He's moved on to other things at this point. He's gotten bored. At this point, he's just drawing small portraits of everyone in the entire court.
Okay.
Dear God, is he going to commit suicide this episode?
Oh God, that went dark.
he's painting his steps out through paint, literally. He's leaving us all portraits to remember him by. Next is going to be a note.
The shaking of the card is not making his drawing skills any.
No. He's totally not thinking of that as he's doing it. I was. He's not.
So, with Kid being distracted and totally absorbed in his drawing.
Morose.
Yeah. I'm assuming your hair is kind of flopped in front of your face at this point, and you haven't moved it out of the way, because, like, no.
Nah, Sugar's just hanging.
Man.
He just has the bat instead.
Yep.
No hair, just the bat.
And pseudo dragon.
And the pseudo dragon.
Primrose, what are you thinking, feeling, doing, saying as you're watching Kid be strangely quiet and reserved as he's doodling alone in his little book?
Hmm. I was gonna say something clever, but I forgot what. Per usual, I guess. I guess Prim's gonna ask, what you drawing? Did you hear
I'm
that?
sorry. I didn't know.
Okay.
What was it?
Prim's going to like. How much taller would Prim be than Kid sitting down? No, I actually thought about that.
How tall is Primrose?
Like 6 foot something or other.
Kid is 5'3".
It's not that big of a difference.
And at least a foot taller. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Prim is gonna like lean forward a bit and like what you drawing?
Not sure. Just feel like this is a good thing right now. I think that if I start talking, I'm just gonna start. And none of us won.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear part of that.
I'm sorry. That's if I go any louder than this, I don't want to hurt Sugar's ears. He's got sensitive ears.
I'm just gonna lean back against the wagon wall, like glance to Eliza slightly, and look back at Kid. Like, you seem angry.
It's not the first time I've worked against someone who's nearly killed me. Though this one did it faster than the other one did.
Prim will go quiet.
So, Kid kind of looks up and he doesn't realize it. He wants to talk about it a bit more, but he is gonna just go ahead and take what he's working on and just kind of set it aside, and he's gonna start drawing, and he's gonna take his time on. which basically means he'll just be working on it best he can. He's going to start drawing kind of an image. The image is definitely male. And as he goes forward, you can kind of tell that it starts to look a bit like it's got elven features, kind of half elf, but it's not Notad. And he keeps drawing. He's like, "This was my first master. His name was Brand." Well, I say was. I don't know if he's dead. It's been 2 years since I really even thought that hard about him. But I guess I'm kind of alive because of him. I don't know. He's kind of the one who started giving me these scars I collect. A few of them were something that I just kind of lost. Like, anytime that I went up and I did something that I shouldn't have, I got a new one. And so I don't really know how to feel. The guy, he taught me everything I know. I wouldn't have survived the 2 years that I haven't seen him unless he told me what I was to do. Like, people told me all the time that like, all I was good for is just sitting there and hitting things with the stupid chain. Like, they'd hire me and they'd say, "Hey, go take this guy who's needing to go back to his house on the outskirts of the city and make sure nothing jumps him." And so I do that. I walk along, and sometimes something does get him, and I just take it down and I don't think about it. And I go back, and then I go. Sometimes I wouldn't get any sort of. Sometimes I wouldn't get any sort of for many months, and so I sit there and I have to get any sort of coin I possibly can, doing work that is absolutely fucking demeaning. And I ended up in that stupid goddamn tavern that night, and then this fire came down, and now I'm here. It's been a month. Only been a month. What in the actual fuck is happening? I've seen people as old as I am. They don't look like me. They don't do this. Like, Angus is right. He looks right. He looks like he's supposed to. What the hell is this?
Prim's gonna cross their arms and cross their legs too, like you would see someone do it in an interview, I guess. You can just kind of stare at Kid, like, you got a lot to talk about, huh?
Kid kind of catches himself and realizes that he's just been kind of going for a little. And he says, "Sorry, you don't need to listen to this.
We got time."
Meat Sprinkles tugs on your on a bit of your shirt. Meat Sprinkles would like to hear. Meat Sprinkles is strangely identifying with finding a master who nearly killed them. Would you like a toe?
No, thank you."
Okay, that sounds like to me you need to get things off your chest.
I need to get a lot of things. I'm upset. I hate being lied to. I hate that. Like, I learned what I know because I had to. Like, the only reason why I even know my letters is because I would see signs all the time, and I'd hear what people are saying that those signs meant, and I figured out that, oh, hey, these little scratches mean sounds. I taught myself what that was. I listened to Brant talk a while, and I learned Elven, and the first time I went up to him and I spoke to him in Elven, he told me something elegant like that shouldn't come from a pit rat like you. I guess I was his favorite pit rat, because there were times when I know I was about to bite it, and I didn't. I just woke up. I was in the infirmary. I know I shouldn't have been alive. I know the guy or the thing that they had me fighting that day was going to kill me, and so that tells me that either him or someone else had to step in. And as soon as I was good enough to stand up, he explained to me exactly what the hell went wrong, and then he. This hurts to talk. It's about as bad as it was when it happened. It was. I felt good about this. I felt good that I found something, that I made that decision myself, and I knew what I wanted to do, and it was wrong, because I thought I had the best idea I ever had, and I just found another liar. I found another person who saw what I could do and said, "Let's use this." Why the hell do I find these people? Like, the only people I haven't found who don't want to use me are you, Keldor, Flick, Griggle, any of them. And then you got the prince saying that he wants to give me some sort of title when this is over. I don't know what the hell to do with that. It seemed like an excellent idea, but what the hell do I know? I don't know anything other than how to kill something better. And even then I fuck up. I don't know. I don't have any fear when we're fighting, because I've never actually been allowed to die. Even, obviously not even once, but the fear's never been there. I figured out after a while that Brant wouldn't let me die. He'd step in. He liked me too much, because I won way more often than I lost. And I guess that's how I'm thinking of it now. Don't know when we're going to lose, and I honestly don't care. Because where the hell am I going to be after this is all over? Good right now, because we're fighting. But when we're done fighting, I won't have anything. A part of me is happy that we have a new place to go. Another part of me is afraid of what will happen when we do go.
Kid, we both have scars. Some more visible than others.
Right?
Scars make you reflect on life. How many times have you done that to yourself? What does that mean to you?
I know where each and every one of these scars have come. They all. There's some way that I failed. And I look at them and I know exactly what story happened to get them. It's weird to say. Like, I got that new spell, and whenever I grow those arms, they've got nothing on them. They're pristine. They're something out of this magic, and that kind of made me think it was a symbol, something that made me say, this magic is putting a new type of, I don't know if the word purity works here, a new type of, I guess, purity, a new type of purity into me that I didn't have before. They don't stick around. So, skin doesn't heal. At least it doesn't heal right. Every scar that I have is a reminder that I've done something wrong in my, and hopefully it's a symbol. That's why every time we fight, I figure out ways to deal with this. Keldor ran in every time, and I started learning spells to fix that.
But kid, every scar means you've made it this far as well. What are you gonna do with that? Gonna throw it away after this, is that?
Kid's going to take is going to look at you for a second, then he's actually going to take the shirt part of his outfit off, and Then he kind of holds up the paper and says, "What happens when I run out of space?" Just like this, I could put ink all over this entire thing and we'll never see any more. It's wasted. What's going to happen when I run out of space?
Then you use that space that's not left for something else. Make something new out of it.
I've heard you talk to Eliza before. That you had something that you wanted to read.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You've had something that you wanted to read to Eliza. I've never had that happen before. Would you mind?
Oh. Well, now is anytime as good as any time as any. Do you still have the book, Eliza?
Eliza reaches into her backpack and digs it out. Hands you the book.
Let me just find my thing here. Hang on.
Hey, Ernst, it's okay to drink while you drive, right?
It is mandatory. Always drink
Good.
and drive. Is the rule, yes?
No.
Right, Bartignock?
He's hundreds of feet behind you. He has no idea what's going on.
Mateus always knows when we're talking about alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the thing. Okay.
This just in. Welcome to the party. Does not condone drinking and driving.
Please.
Most of the time.
Please. Don't drink and drive.
I mean, ever. That's the word I was looking for.
Now I'm like, I didn't know I was gonna read something today. Oh dear.
Like me and
Alright.
bullshit everything.
Huh?
You like me and bullshit everything.
God. Can we actually read it?
Yeah, if you want to.
God. Alright.
Do it.
Kid's never had anybody read to him before.
I'm not good at reading things out loud, and I'm really bad at it. But we'll see what happens. Okay. So Prim will take the book and kind of reminisce about it a little bit, like themselves. Like it's been a while since they've seen the book. They remember some of the story. They'll open it and. It's embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. Let's see.
It's good performance art.
What?
It's good performance art.
Mm-hmm.
So Prim will just like settle back, start reading the book. Burnclaw was a kobold in the nest. He was born and grew into a sorcerer with magic and hordes. He went throughout life as any kobold would, until the old leader did not what he should. Burnclaw was mad, as were his peers, and they left their dark nest in search of help near. In confusion and hunger, they attacked in a spree, stopped by adventurers from the town of Woodspring. Teeth and claws surrounded him fast, and life seemed as if it would quite not last. Burnclaw grew scared, tied up in a tent, the cobalt beside him thoroughly spent. Interrogated for his attack on the land, Burnclaw was soon met with a gentle hand. Offered with life and the promise of love, a half-elf then claimed him as one of her own. With the fire of life deep in his gut, the newly named Patchy wasn't a rat. Returning home now would surely cause strife, for when he had left, he had forfeited his life. Spurred by the need to help their new friend, the adventurers of Woodspring sought the means to the end. Traveling deep into the kobold nest, they came upon quite the big mess. Through battle they fought with brain and brawn, finding themselves traveling down further till dawn. And then at the point where they could not proceed, Patchy realized his friends were in need. Trying to speak with his fellow nestmates, Patchy soon found that things were not great. Start is Flick laughing from the front seat?
Can I hear?
Can you hear it?
Yeah,
know.
you can.
Oh,
Okay.
then
Half-orc's
yeah,
not known for being small, silent.
it's true. It's a loud wagon, and I'm outside of it. That's all I was asking.
Darts of poison flew through the air, and the half-elf charged forward to administer care. Patchy felt himself fall to the ground, but he was pulled back as the darkness rebounds. Pushing through with quite a great fuss, the adventurers moved in such a rush. They found the old leader wrapped up in his games, finding no qualms with taking their names. The adventurers fought in a mighty great quarrel, leaving the leader in quite a big peril. With the smash of a morning star and the burning of fire, Patch had ended the reign of dark ire. With teeth and a smile and a burn in his soul, Patchy stood firm and cemented his hold. He was now the new leader of the nest he called home, rooting his people wherever they roam.
Woo! Encore!
At that point,
Yeah,
Keldor just
Thank you.
walks right on by and has been listening to it as he's keeping up with these fast horses.
Yeah.
Basically strolling along beside them.
Meat Sprinkles is sat there with really wide eyes, listening to that. And am I Patchy?
No.
It sounds like me.
I think so. I also found myself kind of really getting the story.
Well, I also that's the point in the story. So they'll close the book and hand it back to Eliza.
Rose, can you see the future?
What? I'm sorry?
You saw a lot of the past. Can you see the future as well?
She's trying to right now.
I can see into the future, but only by fractions of a second.
Unfortunately, they have the limited fractions that I'm occupying currently.
I'll leave you to think on that. Let me know. Let me know what Patchy does next. Kid's going to just kind of sit back and is gonna get back to drawing again.
Alrighty.
Please tell me he's drawing Patchy fan art. I would love.
He at the moment is actually drawing. He's never seen a kobold. He kind of knows what they look like. So he is going to attempt to draw it. Hold on.
Well, the picture of him on the cover, I think, of the book, most likely.
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
So instead of drawing them all like blocky and weird like kobolds are, he actually like crosses them with the T. So they actually look like cool and snake-like and badass, and he just draws them like human-sized, and then the legend of Patchy
well,
becomes of this crazy reptile.
I put
Patchy
down.
is
I put
badass.
Patchy, but with kids' hair.
And do you imagine Patchy as having like a spiked chain?
I didn't draw that, but he just he's only got like a headshot.
Yeah.
Upper torso.
Okay. You guys, you've probably been traveling a good couple of hours at this point, and you are starting to. You can hear the sound of rushing water, and Keldor, you're outside. You can see that you are beginning to approach a river. Flick
Hey,
and
hey, Unst.
Keldor and Unst, would you like to make spot checks to have a look around this area?
How much are you supposed to drink while driving? Is there like is there a limit?
Well, little friend, how drink while driving? Is I drink until there's nothing left, and that is time to stop driving, because we need more drink. He says with like his nose looking rather red and his eyes a little bit.
I have
He's
not given
definitely
up the reins.
cross-eyed at this point.
Oh yeah.
Flick has not given up the reins yet.
No, Unst is holding imaginary reins.
For like the last half hour, it's really just been Keldor like holding the reins and walking beside
We
the
both
horses.
hold it. You just got like a piece of rope and put it in both of our hands.
Okay. Keldor and Flick, even when you're drunk, you can still see things pretty good. Over near the, like over beside the river, you can make out 5 rather large-looking, green-skinned individuals, and behind them, who seems to be like almost giving them commands as such. A somewhat very elegantly dressed female with her hair tied back. It has a very blatant streak of white running through it, and she's wearing an entire white attire, like this beautiful, elegant-looking dress, but like designed to be kind of strappy and like with a few cuts in it to look more cool and edgy.
Does she look human?
She appears to be human from back here,
Okay.
where you guys are.
Does she look sinister?
That'd be a sense motive.
Yes, it would. I'll roll that. Do I have any enhancements?
Or
Or my sense-
de-enhancements.
No, I think my sense motives are way better right now. So
Sense motive on yourself.
Okay, 10. From being however far away you are, you can't really detect anything from these people.
gotcha.
However,
We're pretty detectable.
well, you guys aren't hiding or anything, I assume. I assume you just
We
kept
have
going
giant
until you saw.
wagons. It's kind of hard
Yeah,
to
no.
hide them.
We're not sneaking the horses and the wagons and the dozens of people from rock to rock trying to hide. I
Yeah.
don't think.
So, what do you do when you make sight of these? They appear, at least the woman, she appears to like she's clocked eyes on you, and she seems to have said something to the large. They look like a more aggressive version of Primrose. Is the only way you can really understand them.
Okay, then.
Is this going to be a problem?
And I make sure Unst sees them.
Uns kind of looks and goes, it could be problem. It maybe not be problem.
All right, and I turn and I say into the back. I don't shout, but I just say,
Look alive back here, guys. We got people out front.
Okay. Do you say there was like a something that can be removed to look through, right?
Yeah, you can try and peer out of a little shaft. However, you're looking for like this very small window, and basically you're having to peer. You've got Un's ass and Flick's ass like in your face as you try and peer through. So it.
Okay, never mind then. Good lord. Okay. How fast are we moving?
I'm assuming you've pulled yourself to a stop.
Okay, then Prim. Okay. Prim, out of more curiosity than anything, is going to like peer, like go to the back of the wagon and peer out that way.
Yeah.
What you described basically orcs, right?
Oh yes, Prim, you recognize these. These are orcs.
Okay. Can Prim do a spot check to see if they have a certain mark on them or not?
Yeah, please do.
All right. I will. Please don't fail it, please. Nameless character sheet. It's loading, sorry.
That's absolutely fine. Ooh, it went down. Went serious.
Come
Awkward
on.
Dance Off 2018.
13. No. The distance you are from them is kind of hard to make out if they would have anything like that, and they seem unnaturally covered up. As in, most orcs you have met in your life, Primrose, they're very okay, like Uns, walking around in essentially sleeveless tops, and most of them shirtless. But these are wearing big, like oversized things to cover almost every inch of their skin, as
Okay.
it were.
Then Prim will just like be cautious versus like aggressive.
I'm going to hail them in Orc. That's a language I know.
Ooh.
And be
Me
like,
too.
what would... Hail. What's up? Basically, like, hi, I see you there. What?
The typical orcish greeting.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
What's
It's a fine language.
As you do that, the orcs at the front kind of they kind of look to each other, and then if you could make a listen check for me.
All of us, or?
Yeah, you could all make it.
Alright.
Do we have to speak the language?
I mean, you can try and hear it if you don't speak Orcish. It just won't make much sense to you.
Yeah, I don't hear
I'm
it.
bored of it. So whatever it is, I'm just new. I'm just new.
I don't hear them.
Okay. Keldor, the 4. No, you do not. Primrose, are you trying to listen as well?
I am.
There you go.
Okay. Kid, can you speak Orc?
I cannot speak orc, although I am kind of listening for intent in the way they're speaking.
Okay. Well, Kid, what you hear, and this is coming from a human-looking woman's mouth, and it sounds something like and it's very sharp and bitter.
I reach back and I get Sputnik down my arm and back around my neck.
And Primrose, you speak Orc, yes?
Yes.
What you understand that this woman said is she said she essentially was commanding these orcs in a very authoritarian, harsh tone of who said you could look. And all the orcs kind of look down at their feet after that.
And none of them reply to me at all?
No. The woman kind of looks over at you. She kind of stands up tall and like pushes her shoulder back, trying to look more intimidating. She's still very small. Like she's not a particularly threatening looking person. Like she's maybe like 5'6". I'd say probably somewhere around like a size 8, give or take. I don't know if that means anything to Americans.
No.
She's not like big or muscular, and she doesn't appear to be wearing armor of any sort. She doesn't even look like she's carrying a weapon. She's got a very fierce look in her eyes, and her whole attire gives off this I'm cool and imposing vibe.
Prim is like, I'm not intimidated at all.
Cool and intimidating. Let's meet depressed teenager.
Like Keldor is a 7.5-foot gnoll. He's not intimidated by little lady in white.
Yeah. What she does is she kind of like she snaps her fingers and then seems to like throw her hand down as if she was holding something. And you watch all the orcs in time kind of drop down to one knee, almost in like a bowing position to her. As she walks forward a little and he goes, "Hello there. I'm sorry, is there anything I can do for you? You seem to be awfully intent on communicating with me."
No, just passing through. Just said hi.
Okay. Is this all of you?
Maybe, maybe not.
Us and what's
We're
in the
trying
wagon?
to cross the river.
Very well. And she's being very, like, there's this very strong vibe you're getting that she's kind of sizing you up and looking you up
Yeah,
and down and being like,
Absolutely.
Prim like
Decent
Flat elbow
roll!
slides in.
Finally!
Yep.
Can I sleight of hand and ready my crossbow under my cloak?
"Oh yeah, definitely, please do." Keldor, with the sense motive check of 20, looking this woman up and down, you can tell she's trying to assess you at this same time. She's trying to figure out, like,
Holy cow! A 17 crit fail.
Yeah.
That is. I'm gone. Yep.
okay. So I'll cover that in a second once I finish describing
Yeah.
what Keldor
I think I
said.
just shot myself.
Keldor, the motive you are sensing from this woman is she is trying to figure you guys out. She's being very like standoffish, very like, I need to figure out if you're going to attack me, what you're up to, and at the same time, I'm going to get ready to attack right back. But I'm
Is
not
there
going
any?
to act.
There's no sense of her going to initiate combat first.
It seems to be she's willing. Like, she looks like the easiest way I can put, like, she doesn't have a weapon, but she's kind of like got a like, if she did, it looks as if she's got a hand on it. Like, if it looks like it's gonna head that way, she would have no qualms killing you.
But she's not going to actively do it. Pull the trigger
She's not going to do it
first.
for shits and giggles.
Okay.
That's what you're kind of getting. And Flick, you're so good at doing this sneak. Like, under your cloak, you're kind of going, yeah. What you forgot to notice is that your cloak isn't even there.
So you just pulled out
like,
your crossbow, like, super sneakily.
This is
Yes,
so
in
in
plain
character.
view. Because he's very, very drunk.
It's wonderful.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't-
not used to having this much light while I do this. It's weird. It's kind of.
She's glaring at you, Flick, and be like, I'm sorry, little one. Were you planning on using that?
Just being safe.
She raises her hand up in front of her,
Yeah.
and you can see that she's got like these overly manicured nails which extend out almost into a claw-like tip as they're
Come on,
almost
lady. One short
frosted.
person to another. You have to understand. We gotta look out for one another.
And she clicks her fingers and points up, and your crossbow flies out of your hand and into the sky.
Well, shit. Okay.
Okay, that seems fair. I'm all right with that.
I don't take kindly to people preparing to murder me and my... She looks back at her kneeling orcs. My property.
Preparing to defend my self.
Guys been drinking
there was
alcohol
another one
since the very
coming.
beginning.
This woman just labeled him as her labeled the orcs as her property.
These ones, yeah.
Kid's gonna be
Keldor.
sitting there like just kind of like you can if he were a cat or a dog, you'd see just kind of the hairs on the back of the neck just kind of raising up like, oh. This is gonna
Yeah,
be
Prim doesn't take kind of that right much either. Prim's just like bothered by other orcs. Is just like
Property.
Maybe they're into it, guys. I don't know. We don't know their dynamic.
Do they owe you a debt?
To an extent, you could call it such thing. Well, if I'm being honest, I probably shouldn't call them my property. That would suggest that I am the sole owner. They are my master's property.
Oh.
I am merely commanding.
Who's your master?
Is Kid outside the wagon by this point?
Kid's been walking outside the wagon, but he's trying to take this calmly. But he's got Patchy in his head, kind of just playing.
oh,
So he might be in the mood for some needless heroics.
oh god.
Well, you certainly are an inquisitive bunch of fellows, aren't you?
Oh,
We have not encountered a single person with the lacks the intent to kill us since we set out from Scarf.
Well, there was the one.
Well, Duratera.
Well, yeah. You're asking an awful lot of me and not giving me very much in return. I don't see how this would benefit me.
Okay.
Unless you are willing to offer something else.
So
You could answer a question of mine.
sure, ask away after.
That's not the way it works, Keldor. We answer hers first.
Yes.
When you say that, she looks at you and goes, such a good boy. He knows how things work. Well, I was wondering. It's an awful long shot, but quite frankly, it's the only thing that I'm even out in these godforsaken, mud-infested filth areas. I'd much rather be home. I was wondering if you've come across a half-elf by name Notat.
Can't say I have.
I've heard of him.
Oh, this just doesn't make any sense. How does one of you know, but the other doesn't? Are you
I'm oblivious.
new
At
traveling
times.
companions?
We don't spend a lot of time with each other outside of the time when we're fighting, and most of the time when we're talking, we don't shoot the shit about people.
Hmm.
This is true.
Well, if you ever do come across him, inform him that the society deeply misses him. And if he doesn't return soon, we will bring him home.
If I see
Thank you
him,
very
I'll
much.
let him know.
Okay then.
Now about us
We-
getting across the.
Oh well, I was.
Sorry, Kelder, you had a. We answered your question. Let's go ahead and answer mine. I'm not going to let myself get sidetracked on this one.
Please.
Like you mentioned, the society,
Yeah.
which is all well and good, but who particularly is your master? If I should keep my eyes out for another name.
Uh, it's a rather difficult one. Not many people get the pronunciation. It's a little of a mouth of sorts. But the current head, the one who sits at the top, it's a very powerful creature. A powerful one indeed. Now, allow me to get the accent correct for this. He's Lathania?
La Familia?
And there is a very distinct draconic accent in how that name is.
What knowledge check would I use to see if I know that?
That
Like,
would be
like-
Arcana.
I have.
Nat
Booyah!
20. Yeah. Lathania. Purely just by the way it's said. Because there's basically no creatures, like no sensible sentient creature which would have the arrogance to give a child. Did two of you get nat 20s on the knowledge Arcana?
Yep.
Two people.
I mean,
Uh,
it's from a mountain that worships a dragon, I guess. So that makes sense. Sure.
No mortal creatures would have the arrogance to give their child a dragon's name.
fair enough.
This is a name in Draconic. It's either it's a very arrogant person who's given themselves this name, or that's a straight up fucking dragon.
Could be a very arrogant dragon.
All dragons are arrogant. That's just
Yeah.
a matter of course.
We were looking for a dragon. Like, it's not like it's a surprise to find the dragon.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I want a dragon orcs as property blessing a hammer.
Looking at the orcs, do they appear any more scarred or anything? Are they simply laborers, or is there any indication that they've been beaten?
These orcs, if you get a close look at their faces, which is quite difficult because they're bowing their heads, but there are very, like, on any parts of the exposed skin, so on the hands, the fingers, the face, there are very obvious marks of.
Oh. Flick fumbles around for a second, and you see him turn like he does when he's talking to Spudnik, and he sends Spudnik flying in the air back towards the other wagon.
Okay, cool. But yeah, there are very obvious signs. Like, kids would recognize these kinds of marks. These are the kinds of things that a master would inflict on a slave. Like beatings, and although they all appear to be scratch marks, so they're not deep, but there are obvious cuts on their faces, on their hands, any bit of exposed skin you can see.
Okay.
She
So
kind
I
of
would like
looks
to-
at you all.
Go for it.
After you guys.
Kid's going to take a look at this. He's going to see it and say, well, at the moment, we are simply, as I mentioned, we're a group of mercenaries. And we are looking to line our pockets. Are y'all hiring?
Oh, my dear, dear boy. The society doesn't hire. We recruit.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Wow. That's she looks you up and down. Are you wearing any armor currently, kid?
Kid doesn't even have his shirt on.
No. So
So
she's
she
looking
can
you up and
see
down
all the scars.
and sees all the scars and goes, "You look like you've seen your fair share of battles."
And then there's
And obviously, to have
Keldor,
survived.
giant,
Yeah.
massive hyena man, full armor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had
Oh,
my glaive sitting on my shoulder the entire time.
Yeah. Now
These
then.
are the signs I've made it this far.
Yes, they're remarkable signs, dear. She licks her lip slightly and takes a deep breath. She seems to be mulling thoughts over in her mind. You would make a remarkable recruit. And tell me, do you wish you could do magic?
Do I wish? Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I could do magic.
I mean, I know it's outlawed in these, but imagine if you could have the power to breathe ice, to grow mighty wings and fly, to shape the world to your whims. Does that
Sounds very
appeal to you?
strong.
It is. And under the watchful eyes of Lathamir, you look like you could be capable of mastering such things.
Okay. As it happens, this group I am traveling with are also fairly... one of which is one who's been blessed with the dragon blood.
Oh,
And the others have fairly useful magical ability as well. Even this one, I say looking at Keldor, has been proven surprising.
oh.
Are we being sold right now?
You're drunk, you don't get to say anything in the deals.
Oh, wait, that's not the rule.
How far
It's
ahead
like
is
you're allowed
Kid
to make
from
rules.
the wagon?
Not very far.
Kid is
Yeah.
standing maybe slightly behind Keldor. Let me actually move myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna using this as a distraction, sort of start to like drunk stumble my way out of the side of the cart and up by the front of the horses and kind of hang off the front of the horses, playing up that I am even drunker than I actually am.
Okay. Unst, he's sat perfectly still, like trying to keep himself from falling over, but he's reached down. He's holding his great sword, like just between his leg, like he's got
Yeah.
it tucked behind his legs. Like, I might be drunk, but if these bitches do anything, I will tumble my way. I will fall off of this wagon
And
and
right into battle.
sword first into them. Like, even if I can't walk, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and just in
I
case
wonder-
you didn't, sorry, just in case you didn't see what I wrote down there, Matt, I was sleight of handing a dagger out before when I rolled that last sleight of hand.
19, yeah.
Yeah, and
So that's cool.
and
You've
also-
got one tucked up.
Yeah. And I sent Spudnik back with a message for Notad to
Yeah.
get us.
Basically, what I'm interpreting that as is when Spudnik gets back to them, they're going to stop moving forward, and they're going to wait until this scene plays out, basically, until someone messages or goes back and finds them. Like, they're
That makes sense.
acting. Like they're going, oh shit, something's going on.
They don't
So-
hear battle, so they don't feel the need to rush in.
Yeah. This woman, she's gonna walk over. Like, she's gonna cross the divide over towards specifically you, kid.
Just wondering how uncomfortable Prim and Unst are with this situation, because there's orc slaves apparently. And they're half orc. That's weird.
And are they staying where they are, or are they following?
They stay exactly where they are.
Okay.
Almost as if they have no free will of their own. They don't even look up. And as she crosses over to Kid, she holds her hand out to him. It's like, well, I still have a mission to do down here, darling. I can give you what you need to find the society if you head north.
Sounds very good.
On your
Please
knees.
let me. Certainly.
And she extends her hand to your face, almost prompting you to kiss it or some such thing.
Kid, not really understanding social graces, will take it.
Just like hold it.
Yeah, just holding it.
Oh dear. I'm going to have to train you, aren't I, dear? She's going to move her hand away from that, and she's going to touch it to your face. And this is a weirdly, obviously, kid, you're asexual, aren't you? So you're not
Yes.
picking up this vibe.
Mhm.
Everyone else, you're getting this weirdly sexual vibe from this woman as she's doing this. Like, she enjoys this a little too much.
Never mind, it's not the orcs to get off on it, it's her.
And, kid,
Mhm.
your face feels cold. Really cold.
Okay.
It stings. Like, ow. No, ow. That's like frostburn.
Mhm.
And you're fairly certain you can feel a few cuts forming on your cheek. As she then moves her hand away, you can see the air, like mist up when you breathe out in the cold. Like you can see that happen from her hand as she moves it away from you. Anybody who looks at Kid's face will notice a three-pronged white claw mark, like the mark of a claw on the side of your cheek where she touched you.
Primer knows that mark, right?
It is
Same one?
almost, except
Oh.
it's white, not black.
Okay. That shape still bothers them though.
It's the exact same shape.
Almost as like someone repurposed or something.
Okay. Can I say that Prim has moved out of the wagon and moved closer towards Unst?
Yeah.
I know Unst is drunk as fuck, but does he see the mark at all, or does he think anything about it?
Unst is dead silent. His eyes are widened, and he is almost sitting back in fear.
Wow.
This scares Unst.
Prim's gonna put their hand on his arm, chill out, dude. Kind of arm, keep calm. It's a big deal, I know. Kind of hand.
And as
Yeah, you
she
said chill out.
Oh, hush your face!
Yeah, Unst kind of looks at you and goes, could you use better words, please? The idea of chilling is not good with me right now.
Calm down.
And as she
Classic.
removes her hand from your face, she kind of looks down at you and kid, how are you reacting to the pain?
This is nothing.
Good. And she looks down at you, and she sees that you're not even moving or anything. She bites her lip and goes, Nathaniel will love you, dear child. Well, providing our exchange is done here, I'm going to continue my journey. I've got to head west. Good luck on your travels, children. I shall see you, hopefully, sometime soon, beautiful boy. And with that, she returns to her orcs, snaps her fingers, and looks to pick something up off of the ground. And they follow that, and they begin to march off westward.
Can we see what they picked up?
It appears as if she's picked up nothing, but it is as if she has picked.
And you died, picked up, and then you froze.
Okay. It looks as if she didn't actually pick anything up. You'd have to do a spot check to see if you can make it out.
Okay, I will try
was
that.
definitely paying a lot of attention to her as she left.
Keldor, you see a very brief glimmer, and it's somewhat resembling the pumpkin smashing that you shoot out. Like it creates the same light shimmeringness, but it appeared to be a chain that is connected around the necks of each one of these orcs.
That's how
Like some kind of magical thing. Like so, it doesn't. It's very strange. Like that's what you convey. Like you only see a brief glimmer of it, and you can see something around their necks and something in her hand.
Could I use a knowledge arcana to see if I know what it is?
Yes, you could.
Nope, don't know it.
No clue. Like, I don't know. Guess it's magic.
That's
I have a
probably.
question.
Go.
I'll knowledge arcana it as well.
So, good question, Matt. Would the orcs that Prim knows have a certain look to them, or do all orcs look fairly the same as far as like skin tone and such?
Well, that's just racist.
I mean, I don't know.
These definitely. Whilst no, it's not like you go, oh my god, it's Frank. Like no, it's not like you know that orc specifically. You know, orc tribes can range in size to like hundreds, if not thousands. However, these, unfortunately, the one easiest way you could have used to find, they seem to be covered up. So you couldn't find any marking that they were from Blackclaw. But if you're judging by like, okay, skin tone, you know, it's a little bit, it's like a palish green, suggesting they're like from the mountains and it's cold. And you know, this woman is going around leaving white claw marks on people's faces. Like maybe she's talking about wanting to go home, back up to the caves around Draxspire and to find the society. And you know that the Black Claw are kind of around that area. It's like it wouldn't be going too far to make the connections.
She did say she was going west.
Well, yes, she said she's going west, but she said
West
she
is the direction of-
wishes she was going. She wasn't even out here. She hates being away from the society. She hates not being in her home.
Can I use a sense motive to see if she was actually intending to go west?
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah, that's the way she was walking. It seems to be going that way.
And is west the direction that the other carriage is in, or is that south?
No.
No,
You
we're
guys
south.
have come from the south.
Okay.
Primrose is
traveling north,
like,
right.
Primrose is gonna share their suspicion with Unst. Like, you think they could be part of that tribe? Those orcs that were with her? Awfully close looking mark.
Unst is fairly certain while we've been gone, something not good has happened.
I just like go back and like, well, One thing's for certain. Those orcs
You
are
gotta
not
spy.
doing it willingly.
No, but if we'd
I
done
mean-
something about it here, then we're telling to them.
Prim could care less, really, but like, it's weird and it's really unsettling. Look,
Hey, don't blink.
it's the lobster.
Hey!
Hey, just got in.
Oh,
Good
Varco.
timing.
I
You wanna-
know, right?
Want to give your thoughts on the last 8 minutes? Give you guys an update. Everyone had some really emotional time, and Kid has just been touched by a woman.
For the
You
first
thought it
time?
would never happen.
Oh, and we also had Notad almost kill the entire party, and then to be disciple dragons, not actually.
Didn't I
And then Kid
fucking
Power
tell you
Word
guys?
pained him and found.
I
Well,
told you
Kid Power
guys.
Word pained him pretty quickly. So, also
tried to
Kid
tell
in
them
talking
to.
actually did reveal that we have a lot of spellcasters in the party. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, kid.
Well, Kid's got a white mark on his face now, so
Yeah, it looks
Specifically a
here.
white claw mark.
But hey, at the end of the day,
Somewhat
now you gotta
resembles a dragon's claw.
spy. Yep. Now you got to spy.
And you know what? This is actually kind of a perfect point for you to be arriving, Varco.
The other
Because
carriage arrives.
this is when the other caravan would finally catch up, as these mysterious people who the woman said she was looking for a half elf named Notad, saying that the society misses him and wants him home.
I'm actually gonna just repeat that all to Notad and kind of look at him and say, "Anything else you want to tell him?" Because we just covered your ass.
What is this?
Yes, and I'm very, very thankful. This woman, did she kind of have like crazy white streak in hair,
Yes.
eyes that look as if
Uh-huh.
she wants to murder
Yes.
you / fuck you? Is this a very strange look?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's her. You know it.
Not sure about that second part, but can she do this? I say, pointing at my face.
Notad takes a deep breath. He goes,
All right, so let's go ahead and have some honesty. What the hell is this?
that. Okay. So, you know how earlier I mentioned I was a disciple of a dragon?
Yes.
That was also a lie.
Oh, duh.
We knew
I
it.
mean, it's not technically a lie. It's it is a momentary truth, because this is not my natural body. This is
No.
not. This is not by my choice that I am currently stuck in this disgusting meat prison. I was born a true dragon. However,
Okay.
my position has been compromised. I was driven from my home after many, many, many of my powers have been sealed and stripped from me, and I have been slowly mustering enough power to bring them back. However, the villainous white dragon Lafreniere and her cult, the White Claw, they are trying to hunt me down and murder me.
Okay.
That is what that just was.
Okay.
That might have been nice to know before, running into them.
Would you have let me travel around with you if you knew a dragon was trying to kill
Yes.
Yes.
Would we have had a
Yes.
choice?
you?
You're a
Crazy
damn
and stupid.
dragon.
You're looking at a Knoll Knight who is protecting the very people who most want to murder my entire con.
So I want to know something, Notad. What is this on my face?
That is the cult initiate mark. You are now in of the society.
Excellent.
I mean,
I pat kid on the shoulder.
Okay.
yes. See, you know what? Like our good friend Vaka here, with all of his marking, those are natural. What this is the beginning of such a process. Unfortunately, the cult, what they like to do, the society, is they like to bestow these things to people who should not have them, forcing magical prowess. I mean, there's a itty bitty problem. See, what it can usually do is it will start to infect your body if you start to use the powers this grants you, usually causing some kind of clotting in the veins, or it usually fills them with this deep black ichor.
And I just point at Unt.
Yes, exactly like that. Oh.
Primer's gonna like pop their head and like, are they connected? Hello.
And then, if the ichor fills a certain amount of the bloodstream, it takes your art and kind of makes it go boom. Your body is then essentially a meat puppet suit controlled by an elemental arcane force.
Okay.
That's probably what those. Oh no, because they did show some
Okay.
initiative.
So, my question that I have now: if we do encounter these people, how much should I expect them to understand the mark has progressed?
well, thankfully, since you are not, well, they do not know that you already can do the magics, no?
Did not reveal this to them.
No, so when you use your magics, your actual, they will probably be of the impression that you are one of the chosen few. Someone who has the natural talents, and you will maybe be able to progress in the ranks, maybe sneak your way in through the cult, and all kinds of good things. But unfortunately, there's probably not enough time for me to sit here and describe what I understand about dragon cults, because it appears that we are out of time for this week.
Nice.
So, yes, we are out of time for this week, and we thank you all very much for showing up and seeing probably some really, really depressing and serious roleplay hitting all of us right in our feels. So, show up next week and we'll see what happens. I am the Bardic Knock. You can follow me on Twitter at the Bardic Knock, on twitch.tv/Bardic Knock, on Patreon at the Bardic Knock, and on YouTube at the Bardic Knock. Welcome to the Party is an amazing place where we're looking to get games set up for all sorts of people all over in an all-inclusive, very safe and comfortable environment for everybody. And you can join the Discord in the link down below to interact and find people to play said games with. If you want to follow them on Twitter at WelcomePartyRPG to learn when things are going on with the channel, follow them here on Twitch for knowing when things are going live, and subscribe to them on YouTube so you can catch up on everything you miss. Other things to check out: the artist who provided the work for Kid the Dark Horse is Tomish-Safe Zone on Tumblr. He does great work, as you have been able to see from Kid's stuff. And also, you should follow our resident Noel, Archer of the Eye, on DeviantArt. He does a lot of the artwork you will have seen during the break. You also stream, don't you, Archer?
Currently that is on hold, just because life.
That's fine, but you should still go follow him on Twitch so you know when he does stream.
Yeah.
100%.
It's Archer of the Eye. Twitch.tv.com. Look up Archer of the Eye, whatever shows up is probably.
Yeah. And with that, we are going to go give a raid. Who are we raiding tonight? On the forefront?
Good. It does look like they are live, so I would say probably.
All right, so we will go give them a good raid, and well, there's another game that'll be starting up here in about half an hour. So if you stick around here, you'll get to see another great game. If not, we'll see you next time. And until then, stay safe and happy adventuring, everybody.
Take care.